Hey guys, Cyndaf here and welcome back to our dwarf fortress. We are sat here with our trader in waiting and our dogs seem to have scattered for some reason. I believe a giant bird came swooping down overhead. But we are ready to trade, so a trader has been requested but no one is there yet, so we just need someone to get in there. And there we go, trader. They are now proficient at trading. So what do we really need right now? Because it is not tin, I can tell you that. But at least they provide tin, so we know that if we find copper, which we don't need because we have iron, we can make bismuth bronze. Or at least bronze, if not bismuth bronze. We could only make bismuth bronze if we found some bismanthium. Words. So, at least we are going to need some food for the next year, preferably in the shape of meat. So let's see how much of this we can get away with just a really bad food. Could we get away with doing that? That's quite a bit of food. No, they're not going to trade for a loss, so let's take that out. No, I now have too many items. Oh, yeah. No, still got too many items. They're really killing me for that, yeah. Well, we've got 5 stacks of food, so that's 25 extra bits of meat. Don't need a trader anymore. So that should survive us a little longer. What pens and pastures do we have? That's just activity zone. We've got some puppies. Of course we do. Puppies already. And some migrants. Hello, migrants. Who do we have here in the old migrants? We have a glass maker, which is about as useful as it sounds. So you can do something more useful. And farm. And butchery and tannery just for now. A farmer. He doesn't actually do farming, but he does tanning and cheese making. And shearing, which is helpful because we have sheep. And that was it. But we have some farms, so we can set up our farm. But that was worthless. Although I think we are already setting up our farm, aren't we? Yes, we have a farm set up. I just haven't actually told it what to plant. And we are of course going to plant plump helmets because we have lots of those and we don't really need anything else. We probably have some cave wheat and other stuff, but plump helmets for now. And they'll go and do that. Go farmers, go. That's a dwarven caravan, so I can't seize anything off them. If it were elves, or possibly humans, I could seize their goods. They won't like me for it, but I could do it. Right, that seems to be the food stockpile, so we need to get that dug out, don't we? Let's give them wheelbarrows to use. Pretty sure we should have had some with us, but let's build a couple just in case. The wheelbarrows, if you don't mind, please, dwarves. Although, thinking about it, I probably don't have any wheelbarrows. That's Craft Tools Workshop. That's what I was after. Build a couple of wheelbarrows. You've been busy digging. And so we want to make a dining room and a food storage down here. We don't really want the dining room to be in the sandy area though. So that can be the dining area. Not the dining area, that can be the food storage area. And we can have dining area, I should say, just on the opposite. See, that's 4. That's 4 up. Is that 4 up? That's 4 up. Yep, there we go. That's exactly opposite. It's in the middle of the hallway, I know, but we don't really need anything else down here. because we will have lava channeling through here for our yeah, there, right there, and that's bar blocks and economic stones. Although we have all of our stones going into here for now. Let's see, which side was which? Side on the right was, yeah, that's gonna, the side on the right is gonna be the economic stone, so I might need to make that a little bigger. Although I don't think I can I? Because it's the edge of the map. Should be alright. Otherwise I'll just swap the two around and have this side as economic stones and that side as bars, which would probably be a better idea. They're about the, well, that's 3 high. No, we'll keep it that way. Bars in on the left there. For whatever reason. Okay, so we have plenty of bones, plenty of wood, plenty of stone. We need more dwarves, that's all we need. Because we currently have 14, which is not enough. Not by a long shot. And it seems a bit quiet. There we go, some ambience. No one seems to want to shift the old cloth. Okay, they're getting on it now. Alright. Stupid dwarves. Didn't I say you were supposed to be doing something? Oh, Haley? Oh, yeah, you're now, of course, you're now a trader. Because you had one look at trading. Yeah, okay. I mean, I could make him my broker, but there's not really a lot of point. I need a bookkeeper as well to keep an eye on all of our stores. But at least we've got plump helmets being stored, so that's good. Oh, we need a like a, I suppose you would call it a, well, it was a dormitory, but you could also use it as a barracks, I suppose. This is what I was actually going for with my words. We don't need words, do we? No, don't be silly. A little dormitory here. We'll actually get this built kind of soon. Yeah, that's centered there. We'll have it do that and that. But I believe the mine, yeah, he's going to go dig out all this first. Which is fine. You can do what you like. I will be replacing these little bits of hematite with dugout wall. Because I want the hematite. Maybe actually. Depends on how much hematite there is. I might just dig it out because there's this bit in the back of the dining room here. I'll be digging that out and following it through just to get as much hematite as I can. And I'll probably do the same down here, follow this out here and this bit, and then just rebuild the walls manually. And that won't look as good having random sort of offshoots of dugout tunnel, but it's iron ore. I kind of need it. Yeah, there's loads of hematite in there. Because not every block gives you a bit of hematite ore, so you need as much as you can get your hands on. Especially if you can find a flux stone, like chalk or marble or limestone, as I think chalk is, and make steel with it. Then you're golden, because I've got magma, so all we need is some flux stone of some description, but we have an absolute buggerload of sand instead. Needs unrotten raw fish. My fish is not doing a very good job. Or are my fishery workers doing too good a job? That is the question. One that deserves an answer. Who are you and what are you doing? You're a child, aren't you? No, you're a main outpost liaison. Fellow to use you're doing. Pretty sure I've dealt with him anyway. I mean, we might. I mean, there's schist and other stones and sand. And then it goes down to obsidian. How deep could we see? Okay. Ah, this goes down to the semi-molten rock layers. Well, damn. Well, we can follow that down for some hidden fun stuff. You have struck Stibnite. Whatever that is. It's probably a gem. But that's the dining room carved. I mean, it's not really very helpful at the moment. Not until we actually are able to produce some tables and chairs for the place, but it's there. Gives us plenty of rock to work with. And lets us know where the hematite vein goes. And there's a dwarf running off with the old wheelbarrow. Lets them carry stone much quicker, but it lets... well, you carry less of it because you can only use 3. If you assign wheelbarrows to a stockpile, they'll just use the wheelbarrows rather than carrying it by hand. But obviously stone's very heavy, so carrying it by hand is slow. It's not so much a problem when you've got a couple of hundred idling dwarves, but as then you shift a lot of stone very slowly, but all at once, rather than just 3. For some reason the stockpile maximum for wheelbarrows is 3. Not entirely sure why, but it is. A crass dwarf has been missing for a week. Oh, that's not good, is it? He probably fell in the river and drowned. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Did he get eaten by a carp? I suppose we'll actually... the carp have had babies. That's kind of cool. And some lungfish. He might have been dragged in by a lungfish. But I don't see him in the river, but then again, if he's been missing, I won't see his body until someone discovers it. Probably. I mean, yeah, I can't see his body, so he's probably dead in the river somewhere. He probably got dragged in by a carp. These damn vicious creatures. Well, that's unfortunate. Now he's going to need at least a coffin once he's found dead. I mean, I'll probably be able to find him at some point when if his ghost rises, because a ghost will rise if they're not properly buried, or if they feel like they're more important than just a burial, they will complain about not being memorialized as well, and the ghost will rise out and haunt people, or just hover over the location of where they died. So that's an easier way of telling where someone died. Look for the corpse, or look for the ghost. Although if the ghost starts haunting someone, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Because it's not a very nice haunting. The dwarves will end up being scared and the ghosts will get angrier as they haunt more and will probably end up killing the dwarf that they're haunting. So that's when you put them to rest. Not after they've killed someone, but if they're haunting someone. Or when just after a ghost rises. Just, you know, put them to rest so they don't cause any problems. Well, he can't have been missing for that long, as he is dead right there. Udib Fashbamar. Yeah, his corpse is right there. He's not missing. He is actually a dead person. I don't know what killed him, but something did. What did he fight? An alligator. Oh, well, that'll teach him one. He had his head crushed. Hey, damn dwarves. Right, we're going to need a coffin then, aren't we? And a burial chamber. Well, I have a free space down here. It's convenient, isn't it? You know what? Let's make it 2 by 2. And we're going to have a separate room for a 1 by 2. We're going to have a separate room for a sort of memorial chamber. Not for dwarves, but for our enemies. And of course we're going to need a couple of doors for those. Lots of lovely rock. Some stibnite, which I have no idea what it is, but we got some. This is going to be a little dormitory area, so we need a door for that. Let's give the woodcrafters something to do and build some beds. Let's have 20 beds. Because we don't have a manager at the moment, we can't just tell them to make 20 beds. So that's it. There we go. That's finished off. Now you can go and do the tomb area. I'm not saying I need it that big because I expect to lose lots of dwarves, but you can never be too sure. The grass dwarf must have been down there getting a drink. This could be a problem because dwarves like to drink fresh water if they're out of alcohol, which we are. Well, the alligators seem to have left, so I think others. Yeah, there's just storks and carp. So the alligators have left. Luckily. Although having said that, there is since it is a river, I'm going to need a bridge across it. Just in case we get migrants or a caravan come from the other side of the river. They won't be able to get across, which would be awkward. I'll have to wait for now. Okay, winter has arrived. You know, I'm not entirely sure what fetish slush is made out of, but we have pomegranates. That's cool. I could actually get the dwarves to pick the fruit from the trees. Actually, having said that, what are my orders? What are my refuse orders? My forbid orders? No, forbid used ammunition. Forbid other death items. Mixed food, workshop orders, auto loom, dyed thread. Yeah, that'll do. Activity zone orders, prefers zone drinking and fishing. Yeah, that looks good. Pretty sure I have a step ladder for them to gather fruit from the trees. Although I hope they don't actually climb the trees because I'm going to get down again. And that would be awkward. Well, look at the miner go. He just churns through that, doesn't he? But then it is only sand. And that's our, well, tomb, I suppose. There is nothing to catch in the southern swamps. Well, there never is there? But that's okay. I was just, yeah, just having a little look around, seeing how defensible this place could be if I actually needed to defend the front door. I mean, we're going to build a wall and make them pay for it. Yes, I did. But the thing about that is, I said I was going to build it around the volcano here, up on this platform, and then just sort of close off the front door, which I could do. I'll still have the front door, but then sort of have a plateau area up here where everyone can hang out and stuff. That's walled off, and also have a sort of a gate opening, possibly. Or I'd have like a bridge across the front door here, and dig out the side tunnel here to make an access through. Otherwise, well, they get annoyed and start breaking things. Well, they don't. They just kind of sit there and siege the place, but I don't really want them to do that. And have it maybe open up here so that they can still get out and into where my dwarves are, but my military that I assume I would have by then would be waiting for them. They just, you know, hack them to pieces. But I could also trap the tunnel and build fortifications so that I could have archers or crossbow dwarves shoot through at them, although they could shoot back if they have some archers, which they usually do. I mean, that's something. I mean, but then obviously all of my dwarves that are outside would have to run through the tunnel to get to safety, which is fine because they wouldn't trigger the traps unless they're clumsy, which would be awkward because then they would die. But that seems like a feasible idea. Because that way my dwarves don't get trapped outside, and then the goblins can still walk through and try and kill me, and I could kill them back. Obviously they would have to bring trolls to knock in my front door, but doors are easily replaced. But, you know, that's getting ahead of myself. First we actually need some dwarves that don't die to the local wildlife. And that's the memorial hall. Right. How's the old crafting of the coffins and doors? And they're all done. Okay. Well, that's not what I wanted. I wanted coffin, which is also known as a burial receptacle, which is a obsidian coffin and doors, because we are respectful here, and they're all made out of obsidian. And one there. How's the old crafting of beds going? 10 of them. They're actually getting through them. They're actually getting through them quicker than I thought they were going to. But now you all need to cart stuff to where I need it. And that could take a little while. Right, we've got a door in. That's the dormitory door. I can now put some beds in there, I suppose. Tea wood, whatever that is. Hey, look at that. I've made a 5 by, I assume, 5 square. Which means with 20 beds I'm only going to half fill it. But that's fine. Don't need that many. But at least now there's a bed and we can turn it into a bedroom, which we can then turn into a dormitory. And the dwarves will sleep there instead. And that's a burial receptacle that we're not using for pets, and it will be filled momentarily when they realise that they need to bury somebody. But of course they haven't actually discovered that he's dead, even though he's over there on the corpse pile. Even though someone brought him over here, he is still registered as missing. Yep, he is still registered as missing. Even though someone saw him die and brought him to the corpse pile, he is registered missing. It's not very helpful. I mean, he's mostly there, right, isn't he? Is he mostly there? It's a mangled partial skeleton. But they should still actually realise that he is dead. At least you'd like to think so anyway. I guess no one really cares. Welcome to a Dwarf Fortress. Where you can turn up and no one will care that you're dead. And on that rather morbid note, we're going to end the episode. So, I would like to thank you all for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below, tell me what you think. Tell me if you want a dwarf. I have a few more to choose from now, although one did just die. Not that he is actually dead, but we'll try and fix that one later. When someone actually realises that he's not alive. But other than that, do leave a like if you enjoyed this episode. And you can also share with your friends, or share it around the place, and it would help me out a great deal, and I very much appreciate the gesture if you did. And you can subscribe for more. And I shall see you all later.